Yo, what is going on, guys? Snoozman back here with another YouTube video, and today we're going to be actually talking about the top 5 tips to master your roster here in Madden 21 franchise mode. And I kind of have a series of, and just a kind of quick rundown of the top 5 things that you guys honestly must know to master this. And the first thing that we're actually going to go right into is salaries. I feel like the salaries table and chart of your players is going to break down and show you guys so much. It's money talk, contract talk, but it's huge to maintain and even save you guys a lot of cap space. So we're actually going to go over to salaries here. And as you notice, it's going to show your 2020 cap, your salaries, your cap penalties, your cap space in total, and what you have left over. And it's just going to give you contract lengths, the remaining amounts, the remaining to you have to re-owe him in that contract. Bonus, which is a another saying for your cap penalty, which it'll be dumping it into. So let's say I were to trade Khalil Mack. You would not want to really do that, because what happens is a bigger name player like Khalil Mack has a massive signing bonus. You're going to end up having to owe that massive signing bonus in his contract that the other team actually does not help with and does not help you pay off with, and your cap space is just going to go, way down, even though you thought you actually, oh fuck guys, I'm going to go back here, even though you thought you actually cleared cap space by trading a massive contract away like Khalil Mack, you actually didn't, because a signing bonus is what's going to interpret what's out of that, and that's going to leak into your cap penalty and screwing your cap space up. So you have that, and then sorry guys, and then we have number 2. This is leading right into it again. Real quick summary with salaries. You want to go in and really make sure within your team, before you're actually trading off players or cutting players of any sort, that you're not really having to pay away a bonus that's going to leak in your cap penalty and ruin your cap space. So any large amounts of bonus is going to be terrible. Guys like Allen Robinson and Akeem Hicks are great guys to trade, because the cap penalty that you're going to have to owe in the future is actually not going to be bad at all. You're going to get value for a player that another team will like, but you're going to get more back depending on how you can work the trade system. But that's really a quick rundown of salaries, guys. It's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. Just quick rundown of all the scenarios and cap contracts and all that type of stuff. It ranges all the way from your best player to your worst player. And that's really cool spreadsheet that you guys have here, and it's free and accessible for anybody here in franchise mode here in Madden 21. But the next thing we're actually going to be talking about is trading away your players. So when you go to trade away your players, trade away guys that you obviously you can trade away if you didn't want Allen Robinson, but more so people are going to want to lean towards guys like, I don't know, Darnell Mooney. Well, he's probably not a terrific guy to trade away. Maybe like Anthony Miller. What a great guy here. 25 years of age. Hasn't really shown much. He's still a 76 overall. He still has 2 years remaining his contract before it's up and they have to give him something. And then he's only has a $1.96 million bonus. And that is nothing. You can trade him away and not have to owe really anything in the future and get a bunch of value back and build your team for the future, which is huge, because Anthony Miller at this point, you can consider him future, but at the same time, he should have hit his peak already at 25 years of age and should have been dominating at this point, and he has not. So when you're going to trade away players, you can look for guys like that instead of higher up guys like an Allen Robinson, who, yeah, it's not a bad signing bonus, but, take that down by, over 4 mil, and that's perfect, because you can get back a good amount out of Anthony Miller. So you have that, and then you have guys down here like Jimmy Graham isn't too bad. I know teams are very offensive line needy. Jermaine Fetty, what a great guy just to get rid of here. Only 140K in bonus. You're not going to owe anything in the future. Your cap penalty is going to stay the same. Your cap space is actually going to improve, because it's going to lead in the contract of 890K. So it'll actually improve more so than losing for the future. So that's perfect. And you're going to get back a lot because people are offensive line needy. A lot of them are. If I were to go in and put in a Fetty, I know there's at least half the league that's actually going to pop up green interest for him. So when you're going through this, make sure that you guys are trying to get value for your players, and you guys are going to be really well set for the future here. And that's all really Madden is especially for franchise, unless you're building around a 1 to 2 year type of thing. But mostly if you're looking for an actual franchise, it's going to be more futuristic, and that's what people like to do. People like to at least extend it to 4 to 5 years and not lose their cap space or money at all, and continue their years in franchise. But that cuts into my number 3 here, and about value. And for me and for a lot of YouTubers, no one wants to see you guys cutting your players. So if I didn't like a Fetty, right, and I didn't even try to test him in the trade system because, you know, you're lazy, you don't feel like it, and you just think that, okay, he's a perfect guy that you can cut. Yes, he's, if you wanted to cut in a Fetty, that's perfect because his signing bonus is very, very low, which means you're not going to have to really own anything. That's fine. That means you're just going to clear up 890K, which, yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But the thing is you are not getting a single bit of value for him when you can literally get at least a second rounder, and that's a stretch. You can at least get a first rounder if you just include like a halfback. Trading with an offensive or any player that has a green interest is an automatic yes for at least. I mean, you can probably get a mid-round first for this guy with like a mid-tier running back, like 70 overall running back, and you throw in a Fetty. That's perfect. So you go down and you look at guys like that, and you can get value for any little player, unless they're just horrifically bad, like Rashawn Coward here. He's a 59 overall, and he has no signing bonus. He's only on 1 year of contract. He's going to get let go because he's one of the game's duds. That's how every roster is. So you guys have to look after that, and yes, he'd be a perfect guy if you wanted to really save yourself 830K here. Get rid of him. Go ahead and cut him. See, these are the very smart cuts I would do. If you guys were to cut players, do players that are horrifically bad like this. You know, making at least around $1 million like this, and no signing bonus, which you're not going to hurt yourself at all, but actually help yourself out in money because you're not going to be able to get anything in value. So if you can get anything in value, a player that you can't get anything in value, and he's actually making, you know, roughly around $1 million, maybe more, for no reason, and has no signing bonus or, you know, really nothing, then I'd definitely say cut him at that point. Other than that, don't be cutting your players, guys. Get as much value as you can and save your franchise. And that will go into my number 4 here, guys, and that's actually going to be building young. Now, a lot of people, again, like to go year 1, year 2. They like to go for guys that are actually higher up in overall and stuff like that, but that leads to hefty contracts, hefty signing bonuses, as you guys can see with Khalil Mack at 29 years of age, about to hit 30 years old, and he has 5 years remaining in his contract. I mean, you have to re-own him by 34 years of age, and in Madden, that's done. He's out of here. And at that point, you're still owing so much more. He's kind of stuck with that, because if you trade him, you're going to owe even more, and it's not a good situation. So, you know, at that point, you have to look beyond that and build young, because guys like Eddie Jackson, again, are young, making a lot, but you have to throw in guys that are young, doing it at a high level, and aren't really making a bunch at the time being, and have a low signing bonus. That way you have cap to build up to that point and at least sign him and have just a, you know, huge mega future. Those are the type of youngsters you want to get that are actually doing it at a high level currently within the game, all this and that, you know, after a year of one sim, or if you actually play the league, get some of the, you know, good youngsters out there on your team that'll help you develop by a mile. And notice all their stuff within that, and you guys are going to be perfectly well set on, you know, a young tier roster that is going to be just so dominant because you're doing it year in and year out. And at that point, guys, if you're paying attention to your salaries, paying attention to at least getting value, like I was talking about before, not cutting players really unless they're bad. Um, and then you're striving to go after and get young guys that can definitely be a force on this team, can develop into something. You always want to talk about developing, because that is what Madden is evolved around. Because XP points are the biggest thing here in Madden 21. It's always going to be in franchise mode because development is the biggest thing. You can do, franchise over and over and over in the same franchise if you run things right. And XP points actually takes me into the last thing, and I will actually back out of this, and it's actually going to be the upgrade system glitch. Now, this can work in user leagues or cloud franchise user leagues and offline. Now, this type of stuff really is it's really not a cheat, guys, because if you look at it with my free agency, where you drop a guy at the end of your season, pick him back up for a year, you have no signing bonus on him. You can do that with Patrick Mahomes or anybody that runs out of their contract, which is a super easy glitch that you can do. But I mean, if you look at it, that's a pretty big cheat. But this one really isn't. And a lot of smart franchise players actually do this. And I'll run through this really fast. So if I were to hit adjust lineup here, and before my first regular season game, let's say I simmed the whole entire year, I played the whole entire year, which at that point you probably wouldn't want to play because it'd be a little weird, but in this sense, Cordell Patterson is a superstar development. I can literally do this. I can edit David Montgomery.
This is the player card. Here you can see your player's
Sorry about that voice, guys. Hit edit player and actually throw him in a position that he's not familiarized with, and he's actually going to get insane XP. Usually he'd probably only get like 2 or 3, especially if you don't up the sliders, which I wouldn't. I'd keep it more realistic. And if we go over, if we can switch his position, I probably already passed it at the beginning. See, he has his development trade up there and all that. Yeah, I already. Let's put him at receiver, and what happens is he's actually going to be like the number 6. He's going to be on the depth chart like one of the last guys. You might not even see him on here. You'd have to open up your depth chart, and we don't even see him. But the glitch is you might not even see him on here. He is on the depth chart. He will play. He's just not going to play a lot, but what will happen is you actually double your XP points. He's actually going to get like 8. He's going to get like 7 to 8 XP points. It's actually going to be massive, and you guys are going to notice that. You guys are going to upgrade him and be like, wow, toss him back into running back, and he's just going to go off and blow up. All of a sudden, David Montgomery is, I forgot his overall, but he's going to be a top tier running back. Year 2, and you do that every year. By like year 4, he can probably be a 99 overall, which is crazy to see out of a young guy like David Montgomery. So in his mid-20s, he's just going to be an absolute superstar for you guys, and you guys can do this whenever. This is not really a serious franchise glitch. It's more so, why don't people do this and know this enough? Enough people out there that don't actually do this. So hopefully you guys can do that with your XP points and raise that up, and get your players to max overalls, and build young, and you guys are going to dominate here off these 5 tips in your roster in Madden 21 franchise mode. And if it does really help you guys out, make sure you guys are commenting down below it did. Or if you have any questions or suggestions down below in the comments, I'd be happy to comment back to you guys, show you guys some love and some support, because you guys are doing it to me. But guys, we are 2 days away from mid-December, and I asked for 20 subs. You guys are so close. You guys are so close. 2 subs away. I asked for 20 subs mid-December. We are so close. We need 2 more people to hit that sub button, reach my goal right now, and that'd mean a lot for me. But if you guys did get a lot out of this video and a lot of use out of this video, make sure you guys are dropping a like down below and hit that subscribe button. But that will do it for today, guys, and I'll give you guys some tips in the future. But until next time, I'll see you guys in the next one.